guys, I'm John Manna from Worship Drummer, and with me I've got Rio, and today we're interviewing an incredible worship drummer by the name of Carl Albrecht. Carl, why don't you just say hi?
Hey everybody, I'm really honored to be here and just blessed to have some time to be with you and share some drum ideas and some ministry ideas too. Well, endorsements are interesting, and I've moved really slowly through the years. I mean, I've done the typical thing like all you guys, you know, you check with the company, hey, I love your stuff, can we hook up? It never really seemed to happen for me. I'm like, okay, you know, for years I tried Pearl and I tried Zildjian and whatever, it didn't matter. They were good guys, it just didn't seem to open, the doors didn't open. And the Lord, again, connected me to companies through the years that really I could have a relationship with. So, long story short, that became Yamaha drums over time, Evans drum heads, Vader drumsticks. And so the Lord's kind of opened this stuff up where, like, wow, it's relational and it's cool and it just feels right. And so I was with Meinl cymbals for like 7 years. And it was good stuff. And then new people came on board, and pretty soon they're like, "Hey, we're gonna drop you." And I'm like, "Hey, well, hey, I'll pay for it, you know, at cost." But they didn't want to do anything. They were just redoing the roster, and no bad feelings. They just said, "Hey, we're just changing up. We're just trying to build." So okay, so I was kind of free of anything with cymbals for a while, and then. And I thought, well, maybe I'll try some other guys and knock on doors, but I didn't feel good about that. I was kind of enjoying being on the road. I would just try anything that was set up, you know, backline kits, or I'd go to a church and I'm like, oh, they got Sabian, they got Zildjian, they got Paiste, they got UFIP, they've got everything. Oh, cool, you know, and it's a fun way to try things out, you know. And but I met Noel at the Christian Musicians Summit in Seattle this last fall, 2013. And he said, man, would love you to try these out, see what you think. Our focus is really handcrafting instruments for worshipers. And I thought, that's really interesting. And even though they're a business and they're trying to obviously build a business, the fact that his burn was for the worship community and for Christian drummers and the whole artistic expression we're looking for. And sure, you can use whatever you want to make that happen. I mean, people hear your soul. They don't just hear the instrument. They hear what's coming out of here.
That's right.
But his heart for that really, you know, impressed me. And the fact that he was going over to Turkey and had gotten this cymbal smith that was probably an old guy from the Zildjian factory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, these are sounding. I tried them out at the clinic I did at the summit. And I write the drum article for Worship Musician magazine, and I was going to do a review of Heartbeat for them. So I said, well, how about you send me kind of this lineup of cymbals that I think I would like, which turned out to be mostly the classic series. And you can see that on my website too, carlalbrecht.com. I've got that all on there. And anyway, he sent them, and I started using them on a couple sessions. Took them out on the road in a couple different settings, and I just, besides giving them a good review, I was hooked. I really loved the way they sounded. It was old school and classic, and yet something a little new there. And I hadn't really been hearing that anywhere else. So for me, that was the clincher. And I called Noel or sent him an email and said, man, I'm in, you know. Cool. And so I did the review for Worship Musician. I think that's coming out in next month's issue, in fact. And then, you know, signed on with Noel, so whatever I can do to help. And it's kind of, again, it's relational. And I love the classic series because, I've got like a 22-inch medium ride and a 20-inch crash and a 19 and 15-inch hats. Nice. And the funny thing is, like, I can use all of the cymbals as a ride or a crash. Right. Which is awesome. The fact that they've got so much control, but when you dig in, they've got this big wash that I was looking for too. And they can really rock. I mean, I have pretty good sense of control. Like when I'm playing with Paul and we're doing, you know, a stadium, or, you know, you're in a big place and I can just let it rip, they'll really take off. But in December, we also did a Christmas concert with a symphony orchestra.
Wow.
sitting all around me, which this coming December we're going to tour again with and do like all orchestras and choirs, which will be a blast. So watch for this coming December for the Christmas tour. But in that setting, I was using lighter sticks, and the cymbals just sounded pretty and stayed under control, and a little slash, and I'd get this nice crash, but it never would overpower the orchestra. So the fact that they have really good control, there's a unique character to the heartbeat cymbals, and yet when you play them, you feel like these cymbals have been around for 100 years. And I think that's the influence of the Turkish manufacturing and the handmade thing. So yeah, the heartbeat cymbals they're going to find their way in the marketplace. Sure, it's super, super competitive. I mean, Zildjian, Sabian, and Paiste, they've got it, you know, and Meinl's even taking a big market share. But the fact that Noel's really not thinking of that first, he wants to serve the drummers community and the artistic expression of worship drummers, I think that's going to really impact, you know, a lot of folks. So yeah, very happy with them. And so yeah, big thumbs up for the heartbeat cymbal guys. So I've been a Yamaha artist probably 7 years now or so. And this is funny, I've played other drums through the years, and all the companies really make good stuff, but Yamaha has just been there. I can't tell you how many times I go to a church or do a festival and there's a Yamaha kit. So many times backline gear or, you know, something, it's been Yamaha so many times. And I had the chance to kind of connect with them and try some things out, and fell in love with the Maple Custom Absolute series, which I don't know if they're doing that line anymore. They keep upgrading it, but it's kind of like the Maple Custom, standard Maple Custom stuff. And I'm using a standard 22-inch kick, 10, 12, 14, and 16-inch toms in standard depths. Although a lot of times I'm just using like a 10 and a 12 rack tom and the 16 floor. Or if the engineer doesn't want that much, I just do a 12 and a 16, you know, so it just depends. But the standard depths, I like the quicker response, and they sound great. And I have several snare drums, like the Maple custom snare drum that comes with that kit. It's just amazing how well it'll tune down and get this fatness to it, or you can really crank it down and it'll take your head off. So it's very versatile. So I've got that maple snare. I've also got a 14x7 brass Yamaha snare standard, and then I've got a 13x4 brass piccolo that they make. And then I also have a Steve Gadd signature snare. So out of those 4 Yamaha snares, I can literally do every gig that happens. And sure, I've got a collection of like 20 snare drums, but I find recently when I have to fly out or if I have to do a session and I can't take more stuff, I'll usually put that brass snare in a case, the deeper one, the 14x7, and the maple snare, the 14x5. And tuning and changing heads, I can do so much with those 2 drums. So yeah, Yamaha's been super good. Love the guys there. Mike Overland is the rep that I work with quite a bit, who kind of, well, Yamaha several years ago actually started a worship department at Yamaha Instruments.
Wow.
So the thing that was cool is like, how about that? Yamaha, a major corporation, recognized what was going on in the Christian market. And beyond the idea of the spiritual thing, they were just like, we want to serve the Christian market. Now, sure, they see it as a business, but the fact that they at least recognized, whereas a lot of companies don't want to touch that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Here, Yamaha like set up this department, Yamaha or Worship Yamaha or something, I forget, but Mike Overland is over that, and he helps set up the seminars, and he's helped connect Yamaha to some of the drum artists and some of the, mostly with the seminar and clinic stuff that we've done with like, Integrity Music and other, worship events like Christian Musicians Summit. So, yeah, it's just been really good. So I love Yamaha stuff. And again, even when I can't take my kit, the stuff is so consistent that I can walk in like, oh yeah, Yamaha drum set. thank you, Jesus. There it is. Tune up, and away you go. So yeah, they're great. They're very great.